Siblings of narcissists, psychopaths or sociopaths, what's your experience? When I was 10, my mom put a lock on my door because my brother started threatening to kill me and my mom in the night. When I was 14, he fixated on my mom and threatened to burn down our house, shoot my whole family, and steal all the valuables and drive away. That same year, he was 17. He took our car and ran away from home for 2 weeks. We ended up calling the police on him. When he came home, the police decided that it would be best if he lived somewhere else, so he did. As we were cleaning out his room, we found hundreds of knives, a handgun, lighter fluid, gasoline and lighters. I was playing with a suitcase while watching TV. I was small enough to fit myself in it. My brother, nearly 4.5 years older than me, saw what I was doing and asked to zip me up in it. After already having learned to never trust him, I asked mom to watch us to make sure he didn't do anything stupid. He zipped me up inside the suitcase and started carrying it in a shuffle step. Thump, thump, thump. I heard the sliding door to the enclosed patio open. Mom started screaming, and I could hear her slapping my brother repeatedly. The suitcase fell over onto its side with me still in it. I managed to pry open the zippers from the inside and got myself out of the suitcase as quickly as possible. Mom was still slapping at my brother, screaming why I was 2 feet away from being dumped inside a suitcase into the family hot tub. He laughed and said that I would have floated. What's the big deal? So, yeah, that's what it was like growing up with a sociopath. My daughter was hit by a drunk driver when she was 12 and nearly died. She was in a coma for 2 weeks, and I was there all day every day, except to go home to shower and change. My sister decided that when I was at the hospital was the perfect time for her and her druggy girlfriend to jimmy the sliding door off the track, break in and steal everything she could find, jewelry, my camera, and yes, my daughter's piggy bank. The bitch stole the piggy bank from a comatose kid. When she threw a cup of hot tea at my face because I refused to show her something on the computer, or the time when she yelled at me for over an hour because I was really sick and had thrown up all over the bathroom sink, the same bathroom she had just cleaned. I stopped speaking with her over 7 years ago. My sister has never been diagnosed with narcissism or a personality disorder other than OCD. But when we were younger, she often enjoyed telling people, before I met them, that I had a difficult relationship with the truth, so that they wouldn't want to be around me. I had the reputation of a liar and no friends for most of my preteen years, and she was popular in our homeschool group until she left and got into high school. After she left, I still didn't have friends, but neither did she, and she blamed me for it during her frequent temper tantrums. She would throw things, scream, cry, and threaten me with kitchen knives on a pretty regular basis. All of a sudden, the year that I turned 17 and she turned 21, the tantrums stopped and she got engaged. He moved in with us. The tantrums started again, and for once I wasn't the target. The worst fight there had happened when she caught him looking at a photo of a bikini model, which she considered cheating. She hit him full force with an open palm, and when our mum saw, she threatened to kick her out if she hit him again. They got married, moved out, and divorced within a year of him enlisting in the army. Brother believes the world is his oyster and that friends and family and loved ones are his to control and exploit. He told a girl they are dating and she should buy him a car and take him out for dinner. Brother has also tried to burn down our childhood home thrice because mom didn't give him the things he wanted. We were poor and he knew that, but he honestly believes that he gets what he wants because that's how it should be. He also tried to sell my car. He still hounds me for the money he should have gotten if he sold it. They can make drama out of any situation and will try to drag you into it even years later. Example, I'm the next to youngest. My whole family is a shit show. But when I was planning my wedding, I was still trying to pretend I had a reasonable family. My future husband's family was like leave it to beaver. So I asked both of my sisters to be bridesmaids. I knew this was a risk, but I hoped they could keep their shit together for a single evening. At the time, I thought they had. About 8 years later, We were in the same city because one of our brothers was in the hospital due to a bad car accident. We had one hotel room across the street from the hospital, so people could go rest when they needed to. I was in that room with my oldest sister when she said, "You know, middle sister, stole wine glasses from your wedding, right?" I told her I didn't care. A couple of hours later, I was in that room with my middle sister. She said, "You know, older sister, stole glasses from your wedding, right?" I also told her I didn't care. So here we are, waiting to see if our brother was going to die, and both of these bitches are playing reindeer games with me, trying to make me be angry with the other one. Our brother lived. I've cut contact with all my siblings because they are all like this. They have to start shit, no matter what the situation or consequences. The sooner you can put distance between yourself and them, the better. My half-sister was 19 years old when I was born. Flipped her shit and told our mom that she was too old to be having kids and that she should put me up for adoption. That started our relationship, where she was vocal about not liking me when our mom got terminal cancer, and she made me medical proxy because I was the only kid at home and was already a caretaker. Half-sister protested and said it should be her because she's eldest. She managed to make things about her and not our mom, who was fighting fucking stage 4 cancer, when I gave the order, as per mom's verbal and written wishes, to disconnect life support. Half-C said I killed mom to inherit shit that was already mine. Haven't seen / spoken to her in a decade, and I plan on keeping it that way. It's interesting really. My mom died recently. When I called my sister to come down the day before she died, she said I thought she was going to die today. I'm not disappointed, but I can't keep missing work. The next day I called her to come to the hospital again as the doctor, and I made the decision to take her off the ventilator. On the phone she said, "Well, can we pull out the tube as soon as I get there, because I have plans tonight." She also proceeded to ask me for rent money that day, as I also live with her. The things they say and don't realize how messed up it is really baffling. My older sister and I used to physically fight and such when my family was here. Then I lived with her and my brother in a duplex for school. I had to clean up everything. If I told her to clean her own stuff up, she would yell at me and follow me around if I wanted to get away from her. She had thrown all of my stuff that she could get her hands on outside in the backyard, which is the main entrance for the place. My clothes, electronics, glasses, etc. Some broken and ripped, all because my boyfriend and I had left for class after she asked me for a ride with us 5 minutes before I had to leave. Boyfriend had a car. I didn't. She would constantly monopolize the car my mom left for all of us to share. So I would have to take the bus or ask friend/boyfriend to take me to the grocery store to buy groceries. Throughout our childhood and in our teenage years, she'd tell stories that were pretty convincing. But when talking to someone else involved, nothing like that happened. She knew I liked one of her friends and then proceeded to have sex with him the following week. She'd always get my mom to shell out cash for her, and she'd spend it on drugs. The final thing is, when she would not leave me alone, since she thought that I had her boyfriend's clothes. I didn't. When I was trying to do homework in my room, she wouldn't leave my room, so I had to leave or try to drag her out. My brother tried to help, but he gave up and just played some games in his room. I had gotten her out of my room and locked the door so she wouldn't get in, but she kept pounding the door and screaming at the top of her lungs for hours. It was so stressful. She then threatened that she will beat me up and plunge a knife through my chest once she got the door open. Then she acted as if she was the victim. When I called my parents and let them hear what she was saying, I got super stressed and wanted her to stop. So I opened the door and quickly punched her in the face. Then closed the door again. It was quiet for a minute, but then the threats came in again. More pounding on the door. Also, when my friend came to pick me up, since I was at my wit's ends, she tried to make my friend think I was the person who started the argument. Said that I broke her bracelet. It broke when she kept pounding on the door. I just grabbed important documents, my school stuff, and clothes and left for 1 to 2 months. My parents were saying that it was equally my fault for what happened. IDK how? Funny thing is that she left the place once I came back, and my parents blamed me for it and kept telling me off. They did not do that to my older sister when I was out of the house for months. They told me I broke the family, and that a few years down I will be laughing about the whole incident. Haven't laughed about it. I don't talk to my sister, and she has tried speaking to me, but I don't want her in my life anymore. My parents give me shit about it, saying that we should make up and be a family again. But I get panic/anxiety attacks at even the thought of my older sister. I've had constant nightmares for a solid 3 to 4 months of my older sister coming to my place and just beating me up, making me do drugs with her. She puts a needle in me mainly, stabbing me, chasing me and threatening me. I still get very anxious when I think I see her somewhere. We live in the same city. Last I heard she was still going to the same college. I'm not sure now though. Lived an entire lifetime not being aware that it isn't normal to run to your bedroom and hide when dad gets home. That it isn't normal to be scared of your parents' reactions to, well, anything. Becoming a mom and having little kids that I just looked at and knew I could never beat them up for picking a flower, or shame them for not knowing how to hang a shelf, or throw grubs at them if they come outside, or throw potato salad at them if they say they don't want any. Yeah, it wasn't normal, and only just now am I realizing all of that. I haven't spoke to my brother in 3 to 4 years. Last time I did he went after my wife, and that was the last straw for me. Since then, my parents have cut him off. He lost his job, and his life has spiraled. Not sure what he is up to now, but my quality of life has improved with him not in it. They're insane, and always mad about something petty. Somehow everything is related to their projected social image, regardless of context or content. Older brother, highly narcissistic, same with my mother. Verbally cruel and manipulative, and always project blame onto others, never acknowledging their own behavior. I do not speak with either over them. My brother for over 5 years and my mother for over a year. You feel your life isn't your own. Everything will revolve around them, constantly causing drama and trouble. Sister who would steal from you. Never ending drama. Tried to steal my boyfriend repeatedly. Actually broke into one sister's house and robbed her. Can't tell the truth ever. Disowned her about 10 years ago after her awful treatment of terminally ill mother. Peace since then. Growing up, she had total control of my life. She criticized what I wore, listened to, ate, everything. If I was different I was weird. If I liked what she liked then I was copying her. She tried to scare me multiple times with guns and knives, claiming she never would actually hurt me, but she would hold up a samurai sword to my throat and tell me if I moved I died. Eventually she had a kid when she was 19 and I was 16. And for a year she was a good mother, and then decided she didn't want to be a mom anymore. I've seen her ruin countless people's lives, spanning from just stringing them along to drowning their bank accounts to contributing to them being put in jail for domestic abuse. She's still waiting for trial on her charge. I despise her, and she is not family to me. I had so many issues growing up that only stemmed from things she did to me, and I don't want to see my niece grow up like that. My parents are doing a wonderful job of raising her, but she doesn't understand why mommy isn't there, and it breaks my heart. Brother was doted on as a child because he was gifted at basketball. Literally had no consequences growing up and could do whatever he wanted. Treated me and our parents like absolute crap, and they still doted on him. While I would get the belt for the most benign and asinine stuff, my brother's life is absolute crap right now. He has no sense of self-worth and just gets handouts from my parents. He is in his late 30s and my parents are giving him money for rent and food. He wants everyone to feel sorry for him and expects everything to be handed to him. He can't do anything on his own and guilt trips and manipulates my parents into doing whatever it is he needs doing for him or just giving him extra funds. He has no incentive to change and is content playing video games all day while my parents just enable his lifestyle. At holidays he just talks down to me and tries to make me feel bad about how difficult his life is. I could care less about him and have no desire to talk to him until he makes some serious changes in his lifestyle and life choices. My sister has dialed down her act a bit after we have all spent a few years out of our aging NPD asshole father's house. I mostly remember a massive sense of entitlement that simply made no logical sense and would require a great deal of cognitive dissonance to explain. Like, she would never loan me things, CDs, EXC, but had no problem walking straight into my room, in front of my face, to take a bottle of body lotion to use on herself. She seemed to have no remorse for what her behavior did to others, so long as she got what she wanted out of the deal. Sometimes, she would just do and say mean and spiteful things for no reason. I talk to her from time to time. While is less of a self-involved sociopath, she still is insufferably self-righteous. It's always difficult to share my problems with them because they also had that same problem at some stage of their life, and it was much harder for them than that is for me apparently.